Spartans! What is your profession?
Tak ludzie, witamy kolejnie edycję Knightz of the Roundtable. Jak się masz, TJ?
What's good?
Jak się masz, the truth, Shima?
What's going on?
What's good, people? We're back. Review time. UFC 259, was it?
Yeah.
259. Let's get it.
There we go.
Oh, is it back to me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you heard, people, two for this intro. For those who don't know, it was in Polish. All the Polish dons, they know what Tooth was saying. But yeah, it is that UFC 259 review show, mad thing. As before we get into it, as usual, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Get the likes up, the views up, and all that good stuff. Not gonna waste any time. Two.
Yes.
Your boy,
Jan.
Jan,
Yes.
with a points victory over that pagan, that guy that didn't know his place. Yeah? No more talk from Izzy now, bruv. That waste man, right? But anyway, enough of the slander. We're gonna get into that. But yeah, points victory went the 4-5 rounds between Jan and Israel. Cards 49-46, 49-46, 49-45. Two, your boy, tell us how he done it.
The wrestling in round 4 and round 5 was basically the icing on the cake. Got him down, held him down. Izzy couldn't get up, and you could say round 1 to 3 was a toss-up. I personally scored round 1 and 3 for Jan. I know other people had it all different kinds of combinations. They might have given Izzy round 1 and round 3. I gave Jan round 1 and round 2. Izzy, I think, blatantly won round 3.
Yeah.
But I know, based on the conversations I've had with different people, everyone scored it differently, those first 3 rounds. As far as Izzy's performance goes, he's just too small for that weight division, man. And he was hesitant to fire off his shots. He wasn't as slick as he was when he fights at middleweight. He was not as he wasn't as good as with his reflexes as he was at middleweight. He was getting tagged by Jan, who is a good striker. He's a very good, well-rounded MMA fighter, but he's slow, he's predictable, and to be getting hit by a guy like that is, suspect. Where in the middleweight division, I would never see Izzy getting hit with those shots, those jabs. And he had a perfect game plan. He attacked Izzy's legs, something that we've not seen anyone do, basically. And then he took him down, kept him down. And I'm proud of him, man. He came through. He represented just the humble pie that Izzy deserved and needed to be put back in his place. And there was a lot of talk about the commentary, like amongst the fans. Like it was a lot of biased commentary towards Izzy throughout the whole fight. A lot of people were saying, like, if you turn the image off and you were just listening to it like it was radio, you would have been thinking that Izzy was winning the fight. This is why I told you, man, from day one, bruv, I always watch this shit in Spanish, bruv. I can't be listening to these UFC commentators, bruv. Joe Rogan pisses me off. Dominic Cruz pisses me off. DC pisses me off. They always have a horse in the race, and it's not a true representation of what you're seeing sometimes. So if you get that Spanish stream, always watch it in Spanish, people.
Hey, look, don't let Dana catch you saying that,
Nah, that's true.
You know what he's on. Truth. What happened to your boy?
Is it my turn? It's my turn. First of all, let me talk about, I'll just do a quick few seconds on the commentary. Tooth is right. I've never actually seen such horrible commentary in my life in regards to this fight.
To be fair, I didn't hear it. I didn't listen to it. I watched it in mute.
I actually watched the fight twice. I watched it the first time and then a second time. The first time was with the commentary, and at the time I was thinking, because I knew Izzy was losing the fight. So when you hear the commentary, it was playing with my head. I was getting Jedi mind trick and everything. I was like, am I missing punches? Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Does Jan actually look hurt from a few? I was like, and then obviously I watched it back again. I like to watch the fight just to review it. And then it's a total different fight for me. I'm watching a total different fight when I watch it without the commentary. So I agree with you. The commentary was a joke. Someone needs to have a word with them. You can't be on that. I think it lowers the product. So that was that. Yes, well done, Jan. He won the fight, but for me, Izzy's stock is nowhere near down. He took a chance to go up. Okay, the weight played a huge part in it. He wasn't totally outclassed. He was giving up 20 pounds and he went 5 rounds with the champion. There's absolutely no shame in that. He said it himself. He gave props to Jan. He said he's got a lot of work to do for him to settle in that weight class. And there's nothing by it. If he was to go get outclassed, get KO'd, it wouldn't have been a different issue. But he went up, he lost 5 rounds. It was a decent fight. It wasn't the best fight. It was a tactical fight, which I knew what would go on. He was trying to get a gauge of everything, the power, his range, his speed, how long can he go on. But as Tooth said, once the wrestling came in, boy, especially after the 4th round, have you ever seen Izzy blowing out of his mouth? Because that's what you saw at the start of the 5th, after he was held down in that 4th round. So yeah, for me, his stock doesn't go. He's got a lot of work to do, but he said he's going to come back to light heavyweight, and I think he should, because middleweight, he's cleared it all out. Build up a few fights in light heavy, and let's go again. Run it back.
I hear that. I think it's a fair, taking it as a neutral, it's a fair assessment of from Izzy's perspective. He was giving up weight. He's never been up to light heavyweight before. As Truth said, his stock won't really go down. The only thing that really gets affected is the fact that he's not undefeated anymore. And he gave a decent account of himself. Tooth, just on Izzy though, was it disrespectful that he didn't bulk up and didn't put on the muscle to go up against Jan? Did he think that it was going to be too easy, and that's why he just decided to stick to what he normally does, apart from cutting the weight down to middleweight, and he just decided that he believed that his class would have won him the fight?
I wouldn't use the word disrespectful as much as I'd like to rub it in Izzy's face, and this is one thing that people might not know. Like I might sound a little bit disrespectful towards Izzy, but at the end of the day, it's all love, because his kind of striking is what I like to base my sort of striking on.
Elite. It's elite.
Yeah, fancy kicks, slick movement, reflexes, and his character as well. I love that I love the kind of characters in the fight business that are not humble. They talk shit, as you guys know about me. Do you know what I mean? I love that kind of shit. But at the same time, there's always those characters that you love to hate, that you love to see take L, and he is one of them. So I wouldn't necessarily call it disrespectful. I think it may have been a bit overconfident, a bit too overconfident. And I think...
Don't you think that he can't put on that weight though? Like, his frame doesn't, some people like take yourself. You're never ever gonna be, no matter how much you put on, you're never ever gonna be a freaking even middleweight.
I've been sitting on the couch for a year, and I went from like 125, which is flyweight, to like 135, which is bantamweight, bro. I'm never gonna get to welterweight, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it's true, bro. It's true. But at the end of the day, it's still the fact that he thought in his mind, and obviously the team around him thought that they could take on someone like Jan at his walk-around weight, which I can understand why, because if you look at before the fight, Jan isn't really this, like, he's not really this this guy that has this one attribute that stands out amongst the rest of his skill set. So he's not like, for example, somebody like Khabib, where, you know, he could just maul you to death. He's not someone like Francis who can knock you out with one shot. He's just a guy that does everything really good. And he has a good game plan. He has a good training camp. And also the dude is old. He's 38 years old, man. Shout out to all the dads out there. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, do you get me, bruv? He held it down for the daddy-os, bruv. And, shout out to all the 38-year-olds out there. Truth, I see you. Do you know what I mean? No, but I can understand why they thought that they can go into that fight without necessarily going, without ballooning up and then cutting down to 205. At the weigh-ins, when he weighed in at, what was it, 200 or something? 200. Yeah. I already knew I mean, if Jan gets a hold of him, especially in the open, you know, especially if he doesn't have the cage behind him, it's going to be trouble. It's just going to be trouble. There's no way he can hold him off. And that's exactly what happened. Like, once Jan got him down in the middle of the octagon, he couldn't really get up. He just pinned him down.
Bro, he just held it. He held them down like.
But to be fair, like, just to call it down the middle, it wasn't like Izzy was in any sort of trouble. It was just like he just couldn't get up. He just couldn't get up. It wasn't like he was constantly trying to survive. He was defending, but he wasn't surviving, if that makes sense. So that's the difference. That's exactly the difference you see in that 20-pound shift in weight, is that someone can just hold you there and you can't really do much. You can defend yourself, but it's really difficult to get up. So, but also fair play to Jan, man. Like, look, he's done it the hard way. In his first 6 fights in the UFC, I think 4 of them were losses. And then he went on like an 8-9 fight win streak, and there was only 1 loss to Thiago in that streak. Do you know what I mean? And he was written off by a lot of people in this fight. And even during the fight, people were writing him off, as we, you know, discussed about the commentary. So shout out to Jan, man. I think his win is being overlooked by Izzy's loss.
I think so. I agree. I totally agree that as coming from Izzy's side, I got full respect for Jan, because I didn't really think as Jan as a tactical fighter, but he had his own game plan. His striking was up there. He caught Izzy a few times. You know, props to Izzy's chin. He checked his leg kicks. I've never seen anybody check Izzy's leg kicks like that all the time. Like, he took away a main strategy of Izzy. And his game plan was flawless. I almost feel like, because he stood up for 2.5 rounds, I almost feel Izzy forgot about the takedown. So when he went for the takedown in the 4th, it was easy. And as you said, you know, that's murder she wrote. Just helped him there.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
just to add to that, with Izzy, as far as his stock goes, do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where maybe his stock hasn't declined, maybe it has, but a lot of fighters now are looking at that fight as the blueprint to beat him. Yeah. You get what I mean? They're looking at that fight in the sense that, like, for example, Jone Jones, you know, he went hard on Twitter after that fight. and he just, like, you know what, like, again, and he's head and shoulders above.
But too, exactly. We know. I said it already, and I say it again. If Bones had the belt, he would have never went up. If he would have had the audacity to go up against Bones, round 2, that fight's over.
We'll get into Bones. Round 2. We'll get into Bones, but Henry Cejudo said something interesting. Yeah. And Henry Cejudo said this with all due respect, like he was being serious about it. I know he's a bit of a troll, but Henry Cejudo said, when you look at the GOATs of MMA, right, you're looking at guys who are elite at everything. So GSP, he could beat your ass standing, and he could wrestle you to death. You know, DJ, he could beat you standing, and he could wrestle you to death. Jone Jones, he can beat you standing, and he could wrestle you to death. And even he included himself in that list. And I will go as far as saying Khabib, because Khabib's stood up with some of the most dangerous strikers out there, like Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Conor McGregor, and he's never looked out of place. But the difference between those guys are that, look, if their striking doesn't work, they will happily change into their grappling, their wrestling. If their wrestling and their grappling doesn't work, they will happily change into their striking. They're, you know, both paradigms are on the same sort of level. Both skill sets are on the same level. Whereas where you have guys like Anderson Silva or Izzy or Conor McGregor, they're just heavily dependent on
striking.
Yeah, what makes them great, which is either their striking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was almost saying it as a not as an insult, but as a way to Izzy to improve. It's like, look, if you want to break into that champ or the greatest of all time conversation, you really have to look at this loss and evolve your game, because that's what the other guys done. Like GSP was known as a striker when he first came into the game, but then he started getting taken down by people like Matt Hughes, and you know, he just went all out. He just focused all out on his wrestling. Even Cejudo lost. Before Cejudo became champ, he was just known as a wrestler. And then all of a sudden he took 2 back-to-back losses and came out with the karate stance and started whipping people's asses. DJ got absolutely fucking wrestled to death by Dominic Cruz. Granted, that was in the bantamweight division, but when he went down to flyweight, there was no one that could wrestle with DJ. Do you know what I mean? He got suplexed by Dominic Cruz. That's how embarrassing it was. He actually got German. Bro, my man got the Chris Benoit treatment.
Hit Benoit, go behind.
So that's and these, I think, like, these great fighters take shit like that, and then, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm lacking in this aspect of the game. I have to go back to the drawing board and sort that out. So shout out to Triple C for pointing that out, because I thought that was a good debate.
No, it was, and that's the thing, is that Izzy is going to have to start working on these things. But I think at middleweight, I think at middleweight he believes that he doesn't have to, because he's beaten everyone's ass already, and his takedown defense is enough. Whereas if he wants to really go up to light heavyweight, he's going to have to work on his ground game, or else he will come up short in them big fights. Truth, just a final point from you in terms of Izzy. What does he do next? I know you say he should like take some more fights at light heavy, but he has said he's going to go back down to middleweight, probably to take on the winner of Whitaker and Costa. But after that, what do you think Izzy should do?
He has to go back down to middleweight, just to, once you lose, you want to get a win straight away. Okay, so let's go down to what he's used to, get back comfortable. I would love a rematch of the Costa fight, just because Costa's been chatting so much crap. So much crap has come out of that guy's mouth in terms of excuses. He was drunk. He didn't get any sleep. Beer crap.
Funny enough, Izzy said that about the young.
Oh no,
you know.
He was actually taking the piss after what Costa said. So that's why he said it. That's why he said that. So
he was.
So
trolling.
he was trolling him.
Yeah.
So yes, I would actually like. I don't really want to see the Whitaker fight, but if it happens, I wouldn't mind it. Getting stuck back up.
I would love to see the Whitaker fight. I would love either or, to be honest, because Costa and Whitaker are fighting for the number one contender spot, aren't they? So whoever wins that fight, it doesn't matter for me. I'd love to see it, man.
In terms of just the hype, I think Costa has got a lot more to prove, because he got his ass so badly whipped and he came with excuses, and you know his blood is boiling. As you said, Whitaker's a nice guy. He might be too much of a nice guy to build up that hype that you need. So I would love to see the Costa fight. And then I would like to see Izzy go back up and fight someone else, take it a bit slowly. He's not someone that could jump into fighting a champion. We've just seen it. Jan, jumping straight into Jan, now that I see it, was kind of foolish, maybe a little bit arrogant. There are levels, and he's not at the level where he can jump up and fight. He might be someone that might need to work his way up. Some people can jump up. I think Jone Jones can jump up and go take on Ngannou or Stipe. I think Jone Jones can do that. I think Khabib, if he was to go up, can go and fight a champion.
The welter.
Yeah.
That's mad. That would be mad.
But their weight differences are much less.
Yes, it's a lot less than.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's only a 10. It's only a 10, maybe 15-pound difference. You know.
Yeah.
So for example, when Conor went up from lightweight to from featherweight to lightweight, I think it was a 10-pound.
10 pounds, yeah.
Yeah, 10 pounds.
He went from 145 to 155. Granted, that is still a fucking big. It's huge. You have to bulk up a lot to do that. And same with Cejudo. He went from 125 to 135. You know, DC done it, but what people don't know about DC was always a heavyweight. You know, the reason why he used to cut down to light heavyweight.
You can look at him and know he was a friggin' heavyweight.
Yeah, exactly. But the reason why he used to cut down to light heavy was because of Kane. At the time, Kane was in the heavyweight division. He was never going to fight a teammate. So once Kane left or, had injuries, whatever, had a hiatus, he took his opportunity and he went back up to heavyweight. He was undefeated at heavyweight. He was undefeated at heavyweight. And
now he's not.
And exactly. And now, which brings me on to the next champ, which is a man named Nunes. Also, do you know what I mean? Like, so speaking of which, man, I don't even like. We have to show her a little bit of love, otherwise we're gonna get shut down.
It is International Women's Month, you know. So I think we should.
Fair enough.
But bruv, that fight was as interesting as PSG beating Brest on the weekend for the fuck. French, like
we did call it. Well, as I said, we were talking about minutes. We weren't talking about rounds or.
I tried to give it like. I tried to get it to round 2. I tried, but you know what it looked like. Listen,
this is what I mean. Like the elite in the women's division. So the Shevchenkos, the Whaleys, the Nuneses, they're so head and shoulders above the rest that it makes like the rest of the women look below average and terrible. I mean, to me, when I was watching Megan fight, it looked like she was waiting for her trainer to hold up mitts for her to start throwing combinations. Like, she's just there like a deer in headlights. She stood no chance.
You know what's dread? Nunes looked like she was wondering how can I finish this girl? Because she punched her up. Like, she beat her up. And then I swear she got in like an armbar and then triangle bar at the same time, and she was wondering, how can I end this girl?
Well, if you don't want them ones there, but you got too many options, and you're just like, what do I choose? Like, what do I choose to do?
She could have choked her, she could have broke her arm, or she could have bashed her face in. Like, bro, like the only other thing that she couldn't do was just fucking like rob her. Do you know what I mean? If she had a handbag on her, if she had a wallet on her, that shit would have got taken as well. Bro.
I'm telling you, it's a madness.
She had her back taken, she had her arm taken, she had her neck taken.
And she punched her up before that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And Matt, bro, listen, real talk, like that's just toying with somebody. I know we don't want to spend, but 2, it has to be Shevchenko. It has to be Shevchenko. Bantamweight is bantamweight, isn't it?
Yeah. They have to do it at 135, man. It has to be 135. Because I think Shevchenko can move up from 125 to 135. But I don't think Amanda can go. She fought at 145. She's champion at 135. I don't think she can get down to 125 at all.
No, it has to be 135.
Would that be fair, Shevchenko? Like, women find it harder to gain weight like that and step up to that level. Like,
if I'm not mistaken, she was their first 2 fights were at 135.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
at the time it was only a 135
Yeah,
division.
135 division. Yeah.
And then they started adding all these other women's
Yeah.
divisions as the depth of the.
I think it'll be harder for. I think it would be harder for Nunes to get back down to 135 than Valentina to get up to 135. And it might work in Valentina's favor, but as we say, like, she's probably the only one that has anything that could probably trouble Nunes, because Nunes is just so far ahead of everyone else. It's crazy. Like, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. That's no disrespect to Shevchenko, but it's like you're the only one out there because of how Nunes destroyed Cyborg. So it's just like, well, you're the only one left now. So you're the only one with the skill set to trouble her. So that's got to be the next fight. And let's be honest, if Nunes wins that, there's no point. There's no point after that. I'm being honest. There's no point. There's no one else. Just let her retire.
I think before they entertain a Shevchenko fight, I would like to see Irene Aldana get a shot. She's this
the Mexican chick,
Mexican, bruv. She's got hands, bruv, and you know them Mexicans don't lie down, bruv.
It's true.
They come forward. So I think that'll be an entertaining fight. I'm not saying Aldana would win. I still think Nunes is head and shoulders above everyone else, like we've discussed. But it will be a fun fight. I think it will be like it will be a fight where we can actually sit back and be like, oh shit, someone's actually giving her some competition. You know? And then if she wins that, then I think there's enough time for Shevchenko to sort of transition up to 135. But we'll see how the UFC play it out.
Yeah, we shall see. Too, just because we kind of went off into the Amanda fight, but I just wanted to ask you, Jan and Glover will be the next one. What do you think of that fight?
Oh, that should entertain you two, man. This is the fight of the dads. You know? I think Jan is 39. I think Glover's like 42. So, do you know what I mean? Again, someone that done it the hard way. You know what I mean? After Glover lost to Jone Jones, he went on this incredible streak. Had a couple losses in there, but always bounced back, and he's well worthy. There was another title contender fight on that card. It was right at the beginning between Rakic and Thiago Santos.
Yeah, it's Rakic.
And that was a dead fight. And I don't believe, based on that fight, Rakic should get his title.
Nah. Jan said at the end of in the interview, he was like, Glover's next after he comes back.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an entertaining fight. I still think Glover has a chance. Glover's the kind of guy that if he gets you down to the ground, he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So is Jan as well. So it's going to be an interesting fight. Both of them are well-rounded. It's like we say, you know, like you always say in football, if two teams play a 4-4-2 formation, they kind of cancel each other out. Those two guys are like two teams that have 4-4-2 formations. So it'll be interesting to see.
Of course, 100%.
Hey, before we get into that, Jone Jones, we have to quickly bring this in, bruv. We have to quickly bring it in before we go down to the bantamweights. So he went on Twitter blasting Izzy. I think it's safe to say that fight now is just dead. Don't you?
No, it's not dead. It's not dead. It's not dead. Go on.
You tried to take on the king. Yeah, you thought you were that guy. And you're forgetting
Jone Jones actually has to go and beat Ngannou or Stipe. And if he gets KO'd, where do you think Jone Jones is gonna end up?
Bones doesn't get KO'd. Yeah. Bones doesn't get. As I said, like, if Bones, on a serious note, obviously I know that. I'm being serious. Like, I'm scared for Jones at heavyweight. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't want him fighting either of those two. To be honest, I was hoping that DC would have kept the belt, because that would have been light work.
Jones can handle Stipe, but Ngannou just has that grenade in his right hand.
I think that Ngannou fight's easier. I think the Ngannou fight's easier because he knows as long as he avoids that right hand, it's light work because he hasn't got anything else. Whereas I think with Stipe's got more weapons and he's more durable. So I think that causes Bones a lot more problem. I get what you're saying about the power. Anyone's going to sleep if Ngannou hits him, but Bones is the master architect of avoiding like them power shots, brother, and deconstructing these guys. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why I have no disrespect to Ngannou. I just think because he's so one-dimensional, it makes it an easier fight. But don't get me wrong, either one he fights, I'm going to be hiding behind the sofa, bro. Because anyhow Bones loses, I know what's going to happen. Izzy's going to be chatting shit.
I'm going to be on his Twitter, fam.
He's going to be chatting shit. But Tooth, yeah, sorry.
Listen, I think the reason why he moved up to heavyweight was because, I mean, we all know it, but we might not want to admit it. He kind of did lose the Dominic Reyes fight.
Of course he did.
No, he didn't.
What?
No, he didn't.
Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Gustafsson, the first fight. People call that bit controversial. Even you called it controversial. And it was tight. I thought Reyes done better than Gustafsson in the fight.
Nah, not for me. And I get why people say that he lost the fight. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Gustafsson one was more of a travesty than Dominic Reyes, to be honest. Like, because Gustafsson worked him. Do you know what I mean? But
but so did Reyes, man. The thing is, right? Jones has been so dominant in that division for so long, and he's been teasing a move up to heavyweight for so long as well.
Yeah.
That Gustafsson fight was the first chink in his armor. But then after that fight, again, he went back to just dominating people. People didn't stand a chance against him. DC twice. There's a long list of fighters that he just...
Gustafsson again.
Smith as well.
Rematch.
Smith as well.
But that's the thing. When it started, when he came back after the second DC fight, and then he had that suspension, then he came back and he started fighting guys like Smith, and he started fighting guys like Santos, and he fought Dominic Reyes as well. Then you started seeing a lot more vulnerability. Yeah, like these cracks were starting to turn into craters now. And I think he got out just at the right time. I'm not saying he's ducking, but I'm thinking he must have considered that Reyes fight as a loss. Otherwise, why not have the rematch? You know, easy money, big fight. Controversial first fight. He was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna cut my losses and move up, and he did. I'm only speculating it.
Yeah, and it's a valid point. Me personally, I think he was bored. I think he was bored at light heavy. I think he just saw these guys and he just wasn't even... All right, we know back in the day, like he was saying, he didn't train for fights and all the rest of it, but he was younger back then. Whereas now he's getting bored, he can't be bothered. That's why I think at heavyweight, I think he genuinely sees that he can lose. And I think that's going to light the fire back up in his belly again to know that there's a genuine threat from Ngannou or Stipe, whichever one. And remember, he's not having a tune-up fight. He's walking straight into whoever wins, which...
Could that be a defense? Could that be a defense mechanism where he's like, you know what? If I lose to one of these big guys, I'm always gonna have that case of like, you know, I was a skinny guy, like Izzy in a way. Like,
no, I don't think so.
On the bricks. Whereas if he was to lose to like Reyes, or if he was to lose to Jan, or if he was to lose to Rakic or one of those guys, people would then turn around and start questioning, oh, you know what I mean? He really has fallen off, and now it has been solidified with a real loss. Because obviously we don't count the Matt Hamill loss as a loss, you know. Which leads us on to the disqualification. All right, let's get it, bruv. Let's get it. Jones will say for another day because obviously the Stipe fight's coming up, and we're gonna have to talk about Jones. But speaking of disqualifications, bro, biggest way of winning a fucking title, bro. The most shag way of winning a fucking title.
I want to know your thoughts on, you know, people said that Aljo made a meal.
Milked it hard. No, I don't know.
But wouldn't you?
I think when I was watching it, I thought there was a bit of play acting going on there. I can't lie.
Yeah.
I thought there was a bit of play acting going on there. But anyone that knows, if you've taken a shot like that, bruv, boy, that shit fucking discombobulates you, man. Hard. Yeah. Maybe he got hit so hard he started thinking he was Tom Cruise in fucking Vanilla Sky or some shit, bruv.
That's a Vanilla Sky, you know.
Do you know what I mean? He got hit so hard, bruv. Man thought he was fucking Eddie Murphy and Coming to America too, looking around the place like, do you know what I mean? Like, bruv, that shit can happen, but who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, look, now he's a champion. The benefits of being a champion is he's going to get, obviously, pay-per-view points. He's going to get a bigger payday. You know what I mean? He's gonna get a rematch, you know. So fuck it, it makes no difference. But what I'm more disappointed at is the fact that we were robbed of such a good fight. We were robbed of such a good fight. I had Jan whooping his ass.
Yeah. He only got one. He only got one round. Aljo only got one round.
Yeah.
What do you think? What was the first round?
Yeah.
Was it the first or was it the second?
First. I thought it was the first.
No, it was the second. I thought it was the second round.
That you got the second?
Yeah, when he took him down. He took him down and he caught him a couple of times. I think it was the second round for me personally. Maybe I don't. I think because the second round was when he took him down.
Yeah,
no,
took him down.
Yeah. That's why I gave him the second. But
I just thought it was the first just because of his work rate that he came out with. I thought the second round.
Yeah.
I thought Jan tagged him quite a few times, and he had to. And for me, he took him down because he had to at that time. Because Jan just started to get.
No, I think Aljo outworked him in the second, but this is the thing. It's just facts of it. It's difference of opinion. But we know that Petr Jan was up on the cards. He was up on the cards because
definitely
like after Aljo took him down, he couldn't take him down again. Literally,
there was 16 takedown. 17.
Yeah, mad. Only one.
And he
only one.
Yeah,
bruv, that takedown defense is stupid. Like I was watching this man, and I'm like, bro, stop trying, because no matter what you do, he's not going down again. Like the takedown defense and the strength of this man was crazy, absolutely crazy. But I think
the thing is, Jan scored all his takedowns. So I think he got 4 or 4 or whatever it was. He scored all his takedowns,
and he was tagging him. He was tagging him as well,
tagging him hard. See, I know you're gonna throw this meme in there, bruv. Yeah, Aljo went for death by 1,000 cuts, bruv. Bruv, he was doing all that pity patty shit, which was, bro, it was effective. But against someone like Jan, I think his the percent, like in the first round, he had like 76% accuracy, which is mental, bro. Yeah. It is mental. Normally in any fight, the normal average is between 30%. 40% is considered like, wow, you know, you're really accurate. This guy hit him 70%, bro. Higher than that. That's insane. And the shots he was hitting him with were calculated, were cold, hard strikes, significant strikes. He was making Aljo pay with everything, bruv. And it lives up to his name, bruv. No fucking mercy, bruv. That knee, there was no mercy behind that knee, bruv.
I just want to hear you guys sing on, because I'm confused on why he need him. I was confused on why he did it.
Basically, two before you can explain why it's an illegal knee, but
every state has a different rule, right? So in some states, you can knee a downed opponent if they have one hand on the ground and one knee on the ground. Okay. In other states, you're not allowed to knee an opponent if they have the same thing. Like it's weird. It's like different states have different rules, right? Okay. And normally, let's keep it real, man. You're going to be fighting in different areas all the time. You're not really going to be paying attention to shit like that. And in I think it was a heat of a moment thing. I just think he saw an opportunity and he just went for the knee.
His corner told him, someone in his corner told him to throw the knee.
Do you know what? But in the post-fight interview, Jan said he wasn't paying attention. Like he he didn't throw that knee based off the instruction that his corner gave him.
But the problem with that is then, and obviously, that, as you said, he wasn't paying attention, is that the referee told him don't do it. And he still did it. So obviously he was clearly zoned out, because if you look at, they showed the reaction of his corner, and you can hear someone said it in Russian, because I think Khabib translated it. And he said that someone told him to throw the knee. But then you see his other cornerman, when he threw it, man had his head on his hands, bruv. like he committed a felony. Like, it's mad. And
the referee did call it though. You're right. The referee did say downed opponent, but obviously Jan was in, like, he was in that kill or be killed. He didn't give a fuck. That's some gangster way to go out though, because now everyone fears Jan even more. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone fears Jan even more. The fact that he could piece up Aljo like that. And I know that's your boy, represent Kingston, Jamaica, bro. But at the same time, like I said, it's the shaggiest way to win a title. It's a shame it wasn't declared a no contest, because it was a blatantly illegal foul.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Aljo didn't want to win it that way. He nowhere near wanted to win it that way. Like, man was distraught, bro. He threw the belt down. Because it's like you don't want to win it either. You can say it's play acting all you want, but you don't want to win that way. No chance. Anybody with real pride, you don't want to win it that way. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if you're down, remember, you've been trying to take this guy down. You're tired. Man's been tagging you, and then my man point blank needs you in the middle of the dome. Bruv, you're not gonna get up. Yeah, I don't care who you are, bro. I don't care if your head is as big as Brock Lesnar. You're not getting up from that and being able to fight coherently. You're putting yourself in danger. I know. I say run it back. I don't know when they're going to be able to run it back. Run it by like 262 or 263 or something like that. Obviously, Jan's going to be coming for blood, because he was obviously clearly winning the fight. I'm not going to celebrate Aljo, because I don't want to celebrate if someone wins that way. But it is what it is. It was an entertaining fight. It got spoiled. Was it the fourth or the fifth? It was the fourth, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the fourth. Got spoiled, but in hindsight, we got something to look forward to in the future in terms of the bantamweight title. And
TJ
we'll see
coming back.
TJ's coming back as well.
Corey Sandhagen as
well. Cody Garbrandt as well, still in the mix. Yeah. So it's interesting times.
A few of those men were running their mouth though. A few of them. I know CJ was running his mouth. I know Corbin was running his mouth. I was like, you guys, chill out, man. Like, yeah, he got disqualified. Bam, you know. It's not like he was losing the fight and got disqualified.
Exactly.
He was winning the fight and he got disqualified.
I think the heat was more directed to Aljo. Like everyone bantamweight started.
Yeah, no. Everyone else went at Aljo, but Dillashaw went at Petr Jan saying that you're a cheater too. I was vexed. I was like, Dillashaw, come back and please get your ass, worked him, because he was.
Do you know what? All these people that are going at Aljo, I want them to take that same knee in their rotted head and see if they want to carry on. I want them to take that same rotted knee. Because I tell you right now, they wouldn't Ross Clark want to fight after that, taking that knee in their rotted head. Yeah. So all them saying, oh yeah, he's a pussy, and look at him, he should have carried on. Bro, man's got kids to feed. I don't even know if you've got kids, but you got kids to feed. You got your mental health to think about. How many people are going off with mental health and dementia and all that nowadays? And you lot chatting shit saying, "Oh yeah, you want me to be fucking war hero." My name's not Rambo, bruv. My name's not fucking Rambo, bruv.
It wasn't like the top of the knee, was it? It was actually.
Bro, it was flush knee, blood. Flush knee, like, bro. I was surprised that man was still coherent.
You know them ones there on the slow motion. You can see the afro ripple.
Yeah.
It's one of them ones, bro. Like I know it's the fight game, and obviously, too, we can say it's the fight game. It's kill or be killed. But at the end of the day, you got to think long term. And man, the guy wasn't coherent at all, man. So
he could have. He could have so many things he could have done. Looking at it in hindsight, he could have thrown an uppercut, like the same way. What's my man's name? MVP got knocked out in Bellator. You remember, by the Brazilian Diego, not Diego. Douglas Lima. You remember he was on all fours. He got knocked out with an uppercut. You could have latched onto a neck. You could have allowed him to get up and then thrown a head kick. But again, it's just heat of the moment shit. And his name sums it up perfectly, bro. No fucking mercy.
No mercy. Yes, bro. But nah, it was such an entertaining card, bro. Such an entertaining card. Obviously, we're looking forward now to UFC 260, Stipe and Ngannou, Volkanovski and Brian Ortega. So, and obviously many more. So you're gonna get a preview of that. But yeah, man, that's it from us. It's a short, sweet, short fire thing. We knew what we was talking about. Predictions were right. Truth is gonna go and cry some more because Jan did the business. His boy's done out here. Gonna go down to middle.
We'll be back, though. Don't worry about it. We'll be back.
He's gonna run back to middleweight with his tail between his legs.
The same boxing. The L doesn't mean anything. L doesn't mean anything.
And yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when Izzy goes back down to middleweight. See if he comes back out to light heavy. You got Jan, obviously, and Glover, and obviously we're gonna see what happens with Jone Jones after the Stipe and Ngannou fight. But I want to say thank you to my guys, Tooth and the Truth. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Pleasure, man.
Safe.
People as usual, you know what we got coming up. Review/preview show. You don't want to miss that. North London Derby special. We got to fit our NBA in there because we didn't get a chance to do it. We got to fit NBA in there as well. And obviously, a couple of weeks time, it will be the UFC 260 preview, and we got Dylan White versus Povetkin to talk about as well.
Billion right. Two's boy.
so much more, bro. So much more. You people can't see the Tooth shaking his head right now at that comment, but so much more content, people. So as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.